So it was a Sunday morning. I was at the gym riding the bike and I got a DM from one of my former Valor players. She is the only player that had known the truth, and I had just shared it with her, but 3 weeks prior, she DM'd me his story, his Instagram post, and said, "Oh my gosh, Coach Benner, you've got to look at this. This is exactly what happened to you. You know, this is not okay. Like, you got to reach out to him." So as quickly as I could, I read his story, DM'd him on Instagram, and just wanted him to know that, hey, you're not alone. This exact same thing happened to me. And so before posting, I sat down and really reflected on, is that the next step that I want to take? Is that the attention that I want to receive? Do I want to be, I don't know, do I want that information out? And so the ultimate answer was the good that's going to come from this is going to far outweigh any kind of negativity or, negative feelings. So I think it was more this sense of social responsibility that took over of, at the end of the day, this is not right. I'm not going to let somebody else go through this alone because the exact same thing happened to me. And he needs to be supported more than I need to protect myself. I received hundreds of messages. My phone was going off. It was like ding, ding, ding. I had to figure out how to turn off notifications on my phone so that it wasn't coming in because it was overwhelming. And I definitely felt a intense amount of responsibility to respond to each individual message that was sent to me because of the personal things that people were also sharing with me. I mean, a lot of it was in support and they were quick, answers back, but there was a lot of people that reached out and just said, hey, this is my story. And thank you so much for sharing, because I needed to hear that in order to kind of process the situation, or even just my sexuality. You don't even have to be in necessarily a negative situation. It's just that you can process that and know that you're not alone in your journey, and that your journey can happen at any time too. Also, just with, the amount of reporters and interviews and things like that, it was, again, overwhelming. I took off work pretty much the entire week and just let them know what was up. And they said, take it, like, don't show up if you're not either mentally capable of that, or you just need that time to process. And that was really great. But it was a lot of messages. I had phone calls. I mean, one mom in particular that just was like, I didn't know how to approach this conversation with my kids. And I suspect that one of my children might be a part of the LGBTQ plus community. And it gave me an avenue to talk about it at the dinner table, and it be somebody that we know and it, is relatable to them. I mean, I received 99% positive affirmation that this was something that was wrong that happened to me. It makes you feel better about having gone through what you went through to be able to make that easier for the next person. When it first happened, like, news reporters would ask, what do you want to come from this? Or ask a similar question. At that point, I think I was so overwhelmed, I didn't have the perfect answer. And a lot of it, there's two parts. Certainly the part that revolves around the students that are still there, that are experiencing discrimination and are, having to go to school in an unsafe environment where they don't feel welcomed, or they're being subjected to bullying, or being subjected again to unhealthy conversations via their teachers, administrators, counselors at the school. And there's the support that needs to come to that community and those students in particular, to let them know that, this is wrong. You do have a choice, that you have freedom to think for yourself, and you have freedom to disagree with what they're doing or what they're saying or what they're thinking, is piece one. And then piece two is just, ultimately letting people in the lacrosse community and, my community with friends and family out here, to just know that not every story is the same. If you're questioning, if you are gay, if you are trans, if you are bi, that you don't have to define yourself even with those labels. In general, certainly the Colorado community here has been overwhelmingly supportive. And then, so that just, makes me kind of rest easy that that's out, we can move on. I just like to harp on what we chatted about, of everyone has their own unique story. It's your timeline. You get to define it, not just that timeline, but who you are, what your sexuality is. Like we had chatted about, it goes beyond just, sexuality. It's any kind of hardship. It's, there are things that you have a right and to define for yourself. And certainly this is one of them. And I'm obviously a resource to anyone that needs to talk through any kind of situation that they're going through.